Hey, you guys, so this is Dr. Callahan, and we're going to go ahead and go over the 61 questions to the Algebra 1 instructional material. So let's take a look at question number 1. It says, which of the following could be the first step in solving for this equation? And this one's a multiple select, so there could be more than one correct answer. So make sure you guys turn over to page question number 1. So if I take a look at this part right here, it says 1/2 x plus 3 equals 2/3. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is going to take the 1/2 and distribute it into the parenthesis. Okay, so I can definitely say that F is one of the answers. There's more than one answer, obviously, okay? And then if you go ahead and do that, that's how you'll go ahead and solve for X. Another thing that you can do is you can get rid of the 1/2. So if you want to get rid of the 1/2, how do you get rid of a 1/2? If you multiply by a 2/1, that's another thing that you can do. So a 2/1 is called the reciprocal of 1/2. So if it's called the reciprocal, you look at the answers here. Which one has the word reciprocal? And I see H has the word reciprocal right here, where it says multiply the reciprocal of 1/2 on both sides. That is another thing that you can do. Now, a third thing that you can do is if you want to get rid of the 1/2, here's my 1/2. Well, I can always divide it by 1/2 as well, okay? So that's another thing that you can do. And so which one says divide? Divide by 1/2 on both sides of the equation. So in this one, you actually have 3 answers that you have to select: F, H, and I. And if you're like, I'm not sure if my answer is correct because sometimes you just don't know, then what you can do is you can go to the back of your packet. And I'm going to go back to this in a second, you guys. So if you go to your packet right here and scroll down to the very end, do you see how for number 1, the answer is F, H, I? So that's how you can check to see if your answer is correct. So in this situation, my answer is FHI. So I know that my answer is indeed correct. I'm just going to give you guys a second to go ahead and copy that part down. So if you have a question like this on your exam, and like I said, this is your study guide for it, make sure that you guys select all 3 answers. If you only select 2 of the answers, it's unfortunate, but it's going to be marked wrong. Okay, so make sure you select all of the correct answers. All right, let's take a look at question number 2. For number 2, it says a person took a bicycle and rode their bicycle for 1.5 hours at a rate of R miles. Okay, so they rode the bike 1.5 hours. Then they increased the rate by 2 miles and rode it for 2.5 more hours. They rode a total of 41 miles. Which equation can be used to determine for the value of R? Okay, so you're gonna have 2 equations. Here's your first one. Here's your second one. Here's your total. Okay, that's how we're gonna section it off. Well, I already know that they rode a total of 41 miles. So first one plus the second one has to equal to 41. And unfortunately, if you look at your answers here, all of them has 41. So that doesn't help you, because if it says like equals 29, you'd be like, oh, that's not the right answer. So the first one is they rode the bicycle for 1.5 hours at rate of R. So that's just gonna be 1.5 R. That's your first one. And if you take a look at this, B does not have that. So you're just gonna cross out B. That's not the correct answer. So already I'm eliminating some of them. Then you take a look at the second equation, okay? Then they increase is a keyword, at the rate by 2 miles per hour, and then rode it for 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna do 2.5 hours times 2 miles per hour, so 2R. So looking at this, you're like, which one could it be? Well, some people might be like, well, it kind of looked like it could be, maybe it could be A, or it could be C, or it could be D. It looks like it's very close and similar the way it's writing it. Well, it's not gonna be D. D does not look close to it. So it could be A or C. And if you're not sure, you guys, I would suggest that you look at your answer sheet. So go back to your answer sheet. Scroll down to the very last page. Go to number 2. And your answer is what? It says A as an apple. So then what that means is that you can go back over here and go, why is a R plus 2? Oh, it's because increase by 2 miles per hour. So it's not 2 times R. It is going to be R plus 2. And and it's okay to make like those little subtle mistakes. So check your answers and then go back to the question and make sure it makes sense. So it's not C, it's actually R plus 2. So your correct answer in this case is A as an apple. Okay, so if you have a question like this on your test, on your final, that's how you will go ahead and get the right answer. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop.